In 1943, somewhere in the middle of the Second World War, a guy called Maslow determined that humans are motivated by a hierarchy of needs. Some of those needs are concerned with deficiency, i.e., I'm hungry and I need to go and search for food. And some of those needs are determined by growth, i.e., I want to grow and be a better person, or I want to develop my ability to. However, what he did determine was that our actions, which then result in our observable behaviours, are motivated by both physiological and psychological needs. He developed this triangle or pyramid of needs and suggested that we can't meet our own needs at the top of the triangle unless all the other levels, particularly the ones at the bottom of the triangle, have been addressed or those needs are being met. Linda Michaels, an eminent dog behaviourist and trainer, then used Maslow's hierarchy of needs and created a dog hierarchy of needs, and I love it because it essentially gives us a base to understand what our dogs are motivated by in terms of where needs are possibly unmet and why we might not see dogs behaving in ways that we expect if their fundamental foundational needs are not being addressed. On the bottom part of the triangle are all our biological needs, such as the need to be able to regulate our temperature, for food and adequate nutrition, for water and shelter, and also included in that level is the need to feel safe. So essentially what's being said is that unless we feel safe, we can't move up the rungs we can't move up the steps of the triangle. So biological needs are really important, but also is the need to feel safe. And that is missing in quite a few dogs, where they feel threatened on a daily basis by things that they perceive to be a threat, whether we perceive them to be a threat or not. The next level includes emotional needs. The need for things to be consistent and predictable, which we've talked about in terms of control, choice and agency, and the need to in your environment. Once your fundamental needs are met and you have trust and you have consistency and predictability, then you're going to be able to form social bonds, which is where we go to next. And the need for those social bonds to also be trusting and comforting is really, really important. So many dogs that I see, they haven't been with their families long, they haven't had long enough to generate those social bonds. And also they might not have social bonds with other dogs, particularly if they're living in a multi-dog household, where again, they haven't developed those trusting relationships yet. Social bonding occurs through exploration of new places and new things, resting and relaxing together, and also play. And what we'll see is that dogs can't play if they don't feel safe, or if they don't have predictability about their environment and about what's happening to them. Once you feel safe, all your biological needs are being met, you've got consistency and trust and really good social bonds, and you're able to play, then you can start to learn. Then you can start to develop cognitive processes where you might problem solve, or you might explore new things in a positive way, rather than just thinking that something new is something to be worried about. So our cognitive function really comes right on the top of that triangle. And we will see dogs who are unable to think and problem solve if there's missing bits of that triangle underneath. Michaels also talks in this hierarchy of dog needs about the ways that we can utilize training to change behavior. And she's very clear on how we would go through a process of adding in training components, which can be seen on the left-hand side of the diagram. All the methods are what we call force-free methods or positive reinforcement methods. So we will never use punishment to train a dog, because then we're going to erode that social bond, that trust and predictability, and the dogs need to feel safe. So have a look and have a good study of the diagram. It's really, really useful, and see where your dog is in different contexts. They may be right at the top of that triangle at home, and they may be right on the bottom of that triangle when they're out and encountering things like other dogs that they're worried about or people that they're worried about. So see if you can look at the context in which you're seeing the behaviour you don't want, and see where your dog is in terms of that triangle.